Josh and I took Jonah out for pizza a little while ago. I hadn't been out of bed in a long time, and I was feeling up to getting some fresh air. Also, I'm not going to lie, the lure of Pinkberry right across the street from the pizza place gave me the extra push I needed to change my shirt and underwear. My mother's voice buzzed in my ear.
Do not leave the house without your gloves and mask.
I donned a hat to cover my bald head, rubber gloves, and I tucked a mask into my pocket just in case I was in a confined space with strangers who were carrying enemy bacteria that could unhinge my fragile, non-existent immune system. And we were off. Dinner went well. Jonah was on his bestest behavior, charming all those that passed by our table. He happily colored with crayons and gnawed on a chunk of bread while we waited for our pizza. The biggest decision that night, whether to have spinach, garlic, mushrooms, or some combination of those on our pizza. It felt so good to debate pizza topics instead of pharmaceutical drugs. For the first time in months, Josh and I sat across from each other, stared into each other's eyes, and talked about work, life, finding a job, moving, friends, and all sorts of other things you talk about with your best friend. That night, cancer wasn't a part of the conversation. In fact, it had no place in this Disney picture we were busily painting. After dinner, we stood at the street corner and waited for cars to pass. As soon as the coast was clear, we each took one of Jonah's hands and cheerfully hurried him across the street.
This is really nice. It feels normal.
For a moment, I felt that normalcy Josh was referring to. But then instantly, cancer slapped me and it felt like whiplash.
Normal? What's normal about this? You have cancer. You look like an alien. You're suddenly living with your parents at the age of 32 after having been married for 5 years. You've been in bed for 4 months. You go to the hospital every third week for 7 nights.
On and on, my mind raced, counting all the things that render us so far from normal. I don't know what normal is anymore. Josh and I had been building our normal since the day we met in 2001. We chose our building materials carefully, fighting over every detail. We debated and negotiated passionately and came to an agreement on how our life would work.
Modern or contemporary?
Marble or glass?
East Coast?
West Coast? But then, cancer burned all of our blueprints. And now, we must start again. Letting go of our old normal to make room for the new normal is frightening. I don't know what our new normal looks like or what it feels like. I'm not even sure we know what we want it to look like. But in that moment, in time, in the cool breeze stuffed with saucy, cheesy bread, 2 people who love each other and their little boy. Yeah, it did feel normal.